All right, so I am creating this channel as a means to try to fight against the corporate takeover of cannabis and fight for the true, real legalization of cannabis and fight for the end of prohibition worldwide, right? I personally believe that cannabis itself, or cannabis prohibition itself, is a crime against humanity, and I believe that all these judges, district attorneys, cops, narcotics detective, probation officers, correctional officers, all these people are complicit in committing crimes against humanity. That is my personal belief, and I believe that no matter what continent, country, state, or city you are in on this planet, you should be allowed to make a living from cannabis, and the consumers should know where that cannabis comes from and exactly what is in it, right? So, realistically, who the hell am I? I'm just somebody with $20 in my pocket and a felon. There's people that have spent 10, 20, 30 years in prison. There's people that have been fighting for advocacy for years, decades. I mean, all I've done is like move weed across state lines and get caught and go to jail, right? Like I'm just a normal Joe Schmo. I don't have millions of dollars. I don't have some huge network, but I am somebody who truly cares about cannabis. And I've felt since when I was 13, I fell in love with cannabis. Right, I read Jack Herer's book, The Emperor Wears No Clothes, and it opened my eyes. And I was like, well, if the government's lying to us about this plant with so many benefits, what else are they lying about, right? And that kind of started me on my path in life. And I felt like touching as much weed as possible and being somebody that people could trust to buy their weed from and trying to get the best cannabis. And then eventually I got into growing, right? So again, like being a grower, you grow weed that people you will never meet, they get to see, right? Your weed touches thousands of people that you have no idea. You'll never meet them. It's really cool. It's really fascinating. I've always loved that. But for the longest time, I felt like touching as much weed and getting as much into the world was my way of standing up against what I felt was unjust. And there's a lot of people that are still successful in doing that, right? And I'm currently on probation, which I feel is a way for me to finally be able to stand up for what I believe in, right? I'm not doing anything illegal. There's nothing they can get me on, you know? So I'm able to stand up and voice what many other people feel. Like things that I'm going to say is not like just my idea or something I've thought of. This is what millions and millions of people believe. They have believed it for longer than I've been alive. But the only thing I have is my voice, and I want to try to stand up for the people, really. I believe that you should be able to have a house, a home, a family, to provide for that family, to pay your bills, to chase your dreams, to do whatever you want with cannabis. I don't believe that it should be restricted to only these massive rich corporations, which in any other industry, consolidation is just a part of life. It just is what it is. There's not that many home style bakeries, right? Like it's all corporate conglomerates. It just is what it is. But I believe that cannabis is like the last frontier, right? And cannabis in and of itself is just a special plant. There's something that can't really be explained except by people who know the plant. And if you know the plant and you love the plant, you know what I'm talking about. Like it really takes your vibration. It really takes like the environment that it's grown in, and it'll either do good or do really bad. Like it's something that's hard to explain, but anybody who knows it knows what I'm talking about, right? And because of that, yeah, sure, like all these giant corporations can grow acres and acres and acres, but the best weed will always come out of small black market grows. That's just point blank period. It is what it is. So, and the thing about America is we've spread prohibition across the world, right? To India, Africa, Asia, all these places where they're still ripping plants out of the ground. It's still illegal. And what I want to try to stand up for is the common person being able to benefit from legalization. Because one of the big things is like, oh, we should keep it illegal because if we make it legal, then only the big corporations get it. I say, if Walmart wants to grow weed, if Amazon wants to deliver it, let them, right? Because, I mean, not really. I would rather not. But it's just that I know that me and a lot of other people like me can grow better weed than them. And given the opportunity to decide and to choose between, the consumer will always choose the small time grower, right? And if a giant corporation has all these employees and has this giant grow, it's not really benefiting the common person. Sure, they have employees, they get some pay, some benefits maybe, but it's not really benefiting the common person, right? It's not really going back into the community. So this channel is based around trying to fight against the corporate takeover of cannabis and fighting for true, real cannabis legalization that benefits the common person, right? And that's what I hope to achieve. And one of my big things is, like, I lost everything when I went to jail, right? Like, I lost my home, I lost my 4 dogs, but I got one of my dogs back. Come here, Ivy. Come here. Come here. Yeah. Oh, come say hi. Come say hi. I got one of my dogs back, right? And I kept 2 of her puppies, and I don't have them. And my one dog that I've had for 10 years is being kept from me because I don't have a place to live. And I disagree with it, but I understand it. I understand why they're doing that. But it's like, I was providing for myself. I was a self-sufficient person, and that's the thing about all these people that go to prison for 1 year, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years. Their whole lives are taken from them. And the people that have done it to them, judges, cops, district attorneys, they all feel justified in what they do. And I, as somebody who is just a salt of the earth, regular person, right? I want to take my experiences and my love for cannabis and fight to change these laws. And I know there are many people who have done this for longer than I've been alive, right? Like, I'm not saying I'm special in any kind of way, but I'm just trying to make a stand. That is my goal here. I have no idea how I'm going to do it, but I'm just trying to overcome all the doubts and the fears and everything. I had some success before I went to jail as far as making videos, and there were some cool things that happened. I was trying to talk to Vice News. They were supposed to send a crew out. My ultimate goal is to try to get on the Joe Rogan show and really talk about what true legalization would look like, right? Because from the outside, there's some great people who are in the public eye that the underground cannabis industry doesn't agree with, right? But from the outside, normal people would be like, "Oh, this person's talking about so and such," and that they seem like a good person to listen to. But like in the true cannabis industry, we disagree with those people. And I'm not going to name names, but there's just a lot of fuckery, man. There's a lot of fuckery, and I'm just a normal dude. I got $20 to my name, man, right? Like, I don't have ulterior motives. What I want to do is try to complete my probation with no violations, so then I can try to apply for a certificate of rehabilitation, which would get me eligible for a governor's pardon. And I want to try to get my gun rights back and try to get this pardoned. And that's going to take years, right? But through that process and through hopefully standing up and fighting, I want to fight for other people's right, no matter where you are, no matter what continent, country, city, state, whatever that you are in, that you are able to have a home and pay your bills with weed money without having to jump through all these crazy hoops to get a license. It's insane that licensing is so difficult to get and you have to have so much money to get. But hey, what if I wanted to start a Walmart, right? I'd have to have millions of dollars. They say, oh, well, that's just cost of business, is what it is. Yeah, but like, if I started a clothing store, cops aren't going to raid me and pepper spray my dogs, And I know people who've had their dogs shot. I know people who have been away from their kids for 10 years. I know people who've made millions of dollars being successful in this and lived successful lives and stayed out of the limelight, Like, I know so many stories. I've been through a lot. I've seen a lot of success. I've had success, had losses, taken L's on the chin, watched other people take L's on the chin. I know this community through and through. I know and love this plant, and I'm trying to make a stand, and that's what I hope to do through this channel. So please, share it, comment, subscribe, whatever. I hope to start making more videos, making more content, doing more things. And yeah, appreciate your time.